Hey y'all, Jeremy from the Archeryshack. I just wanted to put together a quick video to talk about our bowstrings, color options, and any other questions that we get a lot. So one of the most common questions is what colors look good together, and then on the other end of it, somebody will order a color and then be like, I don't think you sent me the right color. So I thought this video would be perfect to actually show you what they actually look like, because I think some people in their head, think that OD green, for example, is a little brighter than it actually is, or dark brown is a little more brown. So I've grouped them into sort of color categories here. We'll go over those. And before we get started, if you need a custom bowstring, check out archeryshackstrings.com. We make custom bowstrings. We pre-stretch them. We go through a whole process. I'll talk more about that at the end. But we definitely appreciate the bowstring orders. And let's jump into these colors here. Let's start with what I'm going to call the pink and purple category. We're going to start with light pink, flow purple, flow pink, black cherry, and purple. Black cherry trips a lot of people up because they think it's got more red in it, but it's actually more of a purple. You can compare them side by side here. Let me slide them closer together. Again, light pink, flow purple, flow pink, black cherry, and just purple. Let's move on to our blue category. We've got regular blue, electric blue, and light blue. These, are pretty self-explanatory, but here they are side by side. We'll move them out of the way. Let's move into more of our yellows. This, I'm going to change my order up here. Here's flow yellow, regular yellow, which is more of a sunshine yellow, I would call it. Here's gold, and here's cedar. Now, just to throw in something beside it that I got in the brown category, here's buckskin. I know it's not yellow, but I think some people in the past have got cedar and buckskin mixed up. So again, flow yellow, yellow, gold, and cedar. Let's jump up to our red category. We've got mountain berry, we've got red, and we've got root beer. Again, a lot of folks, I think, think the root beer is a little more orange than it is, but it's got sort of a tiny orange tint compared to the red. The mountain berry is more of a garnet color. Let's jump into our oranges. Here's sunset orange. This one they actually call in the middle, that is electric red and flow orange. We get a lot of orders for electric red, and people think that they got a flow orange set because it's so much orange. Here's electric red and red compared side by side. I don't know that that was the best color name for that one. But again, sunset to the right, electric red in the middle, fluorescent to the left. And I'm naming these off right to left as we've been going. In our green category, we've got teal, flow green, kiwi, OD green, and green. What BCY calls green is a lot mintier than most people think it's going to be. We get a lot of calls after somebody orders green and tell us we've sent the wrong color, but it's actually green. The OD green is extremely dark. Here's OD green beside black. I mean, if you got OD green and black strings, we've got calls before, and people think we made it solid black. They're so close. So I probably wouldn't recommend mixing those two. And then just to throw in another color that's similar, here's dark brown and OD green. Super duper duper dark colors. There's black beside it. Those three colors blend so close. Okay. To me, kiwi is more of like a regular green, but this is what they call regular green. Let's move on to our browns. We got metallic bronze. We got sand, dark brown, tan, and buckskin. A lot of folks think the tan is going to be darker than it is. It's more like a medium brown. And a lot of folks think the dark brown is going to be a hair lighter than it is. So again, we got metallic bronze, sand, dark brown, tan, buckskin. And now I've got our whites, blacks, and silver colors together. This is what they call bright white. This is natural. So natural has no dye in it. So a lot of tournament folks order it. But if it's sort of an off-white color, if you want a super duper white color, there's bright white. Of course, black. Gunmetal, which folks have ordered gunmetal and black before, and you can't really tell the difference, and we get the call. And then, of course, just regular silver. So what I would say with these is avoid a lot of the dark colors together, primarily these four. Dark brown, black, gunmetal, and OD green. If you mix any of those together, it's very hard to tell them apart unless you do some kind of pinstripe. So there's the colors. Hopefully that answers a lot of questions. Another common thing we see is folks will order a dark color and order a lighter colored serving. Well, we put the serving on so tight that the darker color underneath will bleed through the lighter colored serving and make it look kind of bad. You know, for example, we'll have somebody order a black bowstring with flow green serving on top, and it'll really darken that flow green serving to almost a regular dark green. I wouldn't advise doing that. I'll try to find a few pictures and put them up on the screen of what I'm talking about now. Just yesterday we did a solid flow green string with a electric blue serving on top, and it turned the electric blue more of an aqua color. You know, the only way we could fix that would be to put the serving on looser, but obviously we don't want to do that because then you're going to have separation problems. So I would recommend, you know, doing, say, if you're going to do a flow green string, you know, do a darker serving, do an OD green, regular blue, anything darker that's not going to show through. I would not, you know, do it the opposite way because you're going to see it. And also people will order, say, like flow yellow, and let's just say flow yellow, flow green with a black pinstripe, and then put flow green serving on it, and you'll see that pinstripe because it almost turns the serving, you know, like a translucent color when we put it on tight. So speaking of putting stuff on tight, let's talk about that for a minute. When we make these strings, we lay them out on our jig. They immediately go onto a stretcher untwisted for a certain amount of time, come off the stretcher, twist under tension, sit there on a stretcher for a while, served under that same tension, come off the machine, go back onto another bank of stretchers. And so the whole time that string's being built, it's under constant tension, And what we've seen by doing that is it really eliminates the peep twist problem and that sort of thing. One thing I will say is, you know, you put your string on, get your peep side in. Sometimes wherever you put that peep side, it may not be perfectly straight because of where the string twist is at. We usually tell people to try to add twist to the string instead of take away. We've found that you can add, you know, a few more twists to the string and it won't affect it as much as if you start taking twist out, it can affect, because what's happening is that same twist ratio is under that serving material. So when you change that, the string's trying to fight to get that same twist ratio that's outside the serving under the serving, and that can cause peep twist. So usually a twist or two, once you get your peep tied in, we'll get it straight and, you know, get it tied in and it's good to go. So we get some questions about that. Another question is about the yokes, a bow with yokes on the cable. You will have to twist one side of that yoke a little more than the other to get the cam lean straight. You can watch my tuning videos and see how we do that. but there's no way for us to predict exactly how many twists one side's going to need over the other. So I get a lot of emails saying, hey, can you twist the right side more than the left so it'll fit my bow and I don't have to? And I'm like, no, I can't, unless I have the bow here to actually check it, there's no way to do that. So what we do is we do twist the yokes when they ship, but when whoever puts the string on, whether that's you or the shop or whatever, they should be what we call aligning the cams, getting the cam lean out by twisting those yokes. And that's sort of a bow by bow thing. Your string might have 7 twists in the right leg, but the new string, it might need 9 twists. It's just according to the material, a lot of things. So that's to answer that question. Let me think of what else people ask a lot of. As far as shipping goes, most of the time, we always put it on the website and it'll say it on the order page how far we are behind. For example, right now we're about 10 to 14 days behind on orders, and they'll go out within that time frame, and then it usually takes 2 to 4 days to get to you from the post office unless there's something crazy going on. And it'll email you the tracking number. So we just ask people to make sure when you order to put in your email address and all that correctly, and it'll keep you updated as the process goes along. Of course, if you have any questions, just give us a call and we'll be happy to help. We also ask that orders be placed through the website, mainly because in the past, we've tried to take them on paper and stuff like that, and the paper gets misplaced and a guy calls 2 weeks later wanting to know where the string's at, and we got it mixed in with a work order to our local crowd or something like that, thinking it's a local bow. So if you order on archeryshackstrings.com, it keeps all of our orders right there together, and we just go down the list from oldest to newest and make them every day. So we'd greatly appreciate that. As far as serving materials go, we primarily use an Angel Majesty or Halo on the sharp turns of the cable. That seems to be the best at not separating. Typically, if somebody wants clear, we'll go with Halo because Angel Majesty only makes their 15,000th serving in black. For center serving, we either go Power Grip or Angel Majesty for that. And it just seems like that's the best thing for not letting the center serving separate or move on you. So that's a very good serving. We also recommend a number 24 BCY loop material if you need some loop material. And if you need some loop material, we have it available through the website as well. You can order like a 1 or 3 foot section with your order, and we've got pretty much every color in loop materials. We do string material. So, and this is just the BCY colors I covered. We also have been dealing with bloodline material. I could possibly make that a separate video, but we really hadn't had a ton of questions about the colors on those. But if it becomes a problem or a question, I can make another video. Back to center serving, size-wise, we normally fall within about that 0.111, 0.112 range, sometimes a 0.110. What people don't realize is colors like the fluorescent green, the fluorescent orange, they actually run a little thicker from the factory because of all the dye and wax in them than, say, natural or even just black does. So even though we run the same exact process on 2 different strings, it can vary 1, maybe 2 thousandths on the center serving. Some folks will enter into the details of their order. I'm shooting, a biter, 100 knock or whatever, and we can try to accommodate that if we need to change up anything and get an exact fit. And some folks will say, I'd rather have my knock fit a little looser, and we can also accommodate for that. So just let us know in the order box. Once you order, a box pops up. You can type anything you need to in there, colors, bow. Make sure you give us, especially if it's a Hoyt bow, let us know if it's a 1, 2, or 3 cam. We get a lot of orders. I got a Hoyt Prevail, and then we'll have to call or email which Prevail is it and what number cam. And we get that a couple times a week on the Hoyt bows. Let's talk about speed nocks versus speed sleeves. The speed nocks obviously are just brass nocks that most manufacturers have been using for a while. They weigh the most and typically add the most speed. The speed sleeve is a little rubber sleeve. Elite has used it on several of their bows in the past. Works really well. What I normally recommend is, if your bow already has speed nocks from the factory, go back with the brass speed nocks. If it has the sleeves, go with the sleeves. If it's an older bow and it has a little twanginess to it, I'd probably recommend the sleeves because they're rubber And although they're not as heavy as those speed nocks are going to be, it'll take out a little bit of that string oscillation and twanginess to help you out a little bit. But on the newer bows, the newer Matthews Hoyts that has like a ton of speed nocks, like some of them have 20 and 30 speed nocks on them, I'd stick with the nocks because you're not going to get the same weight out of that sleeve. And the sleeves come in several different colors, so we can kind of match your string. And with the speed nocks, we typically do black shrink tubing over them or white. We can also dye the white to a color, but I do know from experience that dye will slowly wear off over time. So, you know, you can tell us, I want lime green shrink tubing over my speed nocks, and we'll be happy to do that. Just know that if it starts slowly turning white, that might happen. I mean, you could hit it with probably a Sharpie marker or something like that and kind of color it back in. But over time, I've tried it before, it'll slowly lose its color. Well, thanks for tuning in and watching my video. Again, if you need a string, go to archeryshackstrings.com. We'll be happy to help you any way we can. We carry a lot of the BCY colors and products. Also, the Bloodline VEC 99 has been popular lately and also the Bloodline and their glow material has been popular, the glow in the dark string material. Just let us know how we can help. Go to archeryshackstrings.com, just type in your order, and we'll be happy to get you a custom string made. If you're local to us here at the Archery Shack in Anderson, South Carolina, feel free to drop your bow off. We'll be happy to restring it, tune it, get everything back perfect for you, and get you hunting this season. So just let us know how we can help you. Again, my name's Jeremy. Hit the old subscribe button if you don't mind. Give us a like, a thumbs up on this video, and we'll see you soon.